Welcome to the training for the software Proprio Expert. The first thing to do when you begin in the software is to enter the name of the company. So you will see this is the required information. If you don't have a company, just enter your name. Okay, for the example, I will enter the name of the company as Magix. If you want to enter your email, website, or business number, will be able to enter just here. If you wanted to enter a logo, just click on select a file, just choose in your computer, and you will be able to upload the image that you want that show after this in the software and different kind of letter and report. If we click on next, you will see the required information to create the company is to enter the address. So for here, for example, I will enter the address. If I have a number that I want enter, for example, a business number, we'll just enter just here. If I need to add another number, just click on add a number just here, and you will have a same section. Just enter the information as you wish. If we click on next, you will see here the option for your financial period. So just enter, for example, the financial period that you want to begin in the software. If you have, for example, a number of GST and QST, just you will be able to enter here. If you don't have it, just do not enter it. If we take a look on the middle section, you will see this section for the bank account. So this is very important to enter. This way you'll be able to have this kind of payment method in the other section in the software. Just enter the information as your financial institution, enter your transit institution and account number. Then click on the option select account. And for example, by default, just choose the option 1060. If you have another bank account, just make sure to click on the option bank account. Enter it. Then make sure that you select a different number of the chart of account to make sure to not mix all the information in only one account. If you have a credit card, just make the same thing. Just enter the name of the credit card, select the account, then enter the financial institution. When you finish, just click on the option next. Here, you will be able to enter the executive, the managers of the company, and here, if you have, for example, here the correspondence address, for example, if you send a letter to no matter what person you wish, so this is the information that will show directly on the letter, but if you want to change it, just click on correspondence just here, and then enter the information that you want. Here in the last part, in the option signatories of the letter, so this is directly on the bottom part, so the signature of the person will show there. So if you want a different person that show here, just enter the information of the person that you want. If we click on next, you will see the option recall, note, and task. So here you will see this option, for example, in all this section, data, properties, unit, contact, suppliers. So if you need to have a recall, for example, something that you need to remember, or if you have a note or a task directly linked to the company, you will be able to enter here. As you see, this is very easy to enter our first company. When we're done, just click on finish and you will see the next window that will appear is now you're going to add your first building. So now just enter the address of the building is the required information. Make sure to enter the first name, last name of your landlord and the email address and the phone number. If you want to complete the address of the landlord, just click on the little plus just here and click on edit, then click on next once, then enter the address of the landlord. When it's done, just click on finish. Now we go back directly on the window building, just click on next. Here you will see this is very interesting to enter all kinds of information. This is not required, but it's very interesting to have it. So when you will pull out, for example, our report, so you will have all this information. So if someone asks you, for example, the year of the building, so you don't know and you need to search on your papers, for example, this is very long, but if you have it already entered in the software, on a couple of clicks, you will have all the report with all the information that you have entered. So when you have a little bit of time, just enter the information just here. If we click on next, we'll see the option as the manager of the building, just enter the information as is required just here. If you have, for example, a janitor, same thing, and even if you have an emergency contact, just enter it in the bottom part. When it's complete, just click on next. If you have any picture that you want to add, for example, in the section building, you will be able to enter it just clicking by select a file, just find it in your computer, and you will be able to add it. Just make sure to know that you have a maximum of 10 pictures that you can add in this section. When you have entered your picture, if you want, just click on next. And here you will see the same option as a record note and task as we see in the window company. If I click on next, I'm already in the last section. If you need to add a different kind of document, as for example, a warranty, insurance, etc., so you will be able to enter just here. When you finish, just click on finish, and we will see now the section unit. So this is the section to add a new unit in apartment. So here, just enter the number of the apartment, just for example, the apartment number 1. And I click on next, here I will be able to enter different kind of information. One information that is important to enter correctly is, for example, the number of the room. For example, I see some people that enter, for example, 5.5. I see other person that make, for example, enter 5.5 with the keyboard. But the good way to do it is just to enter the 5 and then click on add the half. This is the good way to do it. If you have, for example, the number of bathrooms, you can just enter it, and if in the bottom, just select the features that are available in the apartment, for example. In the bottom, if you have a parking spot, you will be able to enter the number, the space number, the type, and some kind of information just here. When you finish, just click on next. Here again, if you have any picture that you want to add in the software, just click on select a file, choose it on the computer, and just remember you have a maximum of 10 pictures that you can add. When we click on next, we'll see the section rent price. We can enter, for example, here for the example, here the unit is $1,000. So that will be pre-complete. For example, in the next section, how will be the lease. We'll click on next. Here again, we have the section recalls, note and task. Same thing, you know how to enter it. Then I will click on next here. If I have, for example, again, a document that I want to add directly for the apartment, there is a space to enter it. When it's done, just click on finish. And now we are directly in the option lease. So here we be able to add your first lease. This is very simple. Just enter the first name, last name, email, and number of your tenant. If you have another tenant, just click on add. They will add in the same section. Just enter the information. If the leaser, for example, is a company, you can add a representative just in the middle section. Same thing, first name, last name, email, and number. If you have an endorser, for example, for your tenant, you'll be able to enter it. Just make sure, for example, if we just go back on this section tenant, we'll have a little plus. Just go directly and click on edit. Then you'll be able, for example, to complete his file, for example, with the former address. This is the address that will show up directly on the lease. So enter his current address. When it's done, just click on finish. We need just to click on next. And here are the terms of the lease. If you have a tenant who was there since 2015, we do not suggest to enter the date here as 2015. For example, here we will enter the last renewal, who for example is in 2020, like this. And here we can enter, for example, the real date of the arrival. When you have entered correctly, just click on next. Then here, if you take a look, his pre-fill as the information that I have entered directly in the apartment. If, for example, my tenant enter only in the middle of the month because I was not able to give the apartment at time, just for example, he entered the July 15, just enter, for example, the amount that you want to charge it, for example, just a half. Or even if your tenant want to, for example, have the apartment for June 1st and it is available, you can charge it an extra amount for the first amount. In this case, you will be able to enter at $2,000. In my case, I would just leave it for the example to 1,000. Here you will have the section payment method. Just choose, for example, the payment method that you want to, and then just click on next. Here, just fill the information as you already know. If you have, for example, you have some furniture, just click on the option yes, and then you'll be able, for example, to select all the furniture has included in the rent. Once you have complete the furniture section, for example, if you do, just click on next. And then, for example, if you have some work and repair before the delivery of the apartment, just will be able just to enter it, or during the lease, enter it just here. If you have janitorial service, just click on yes, for example. And here on the bottom part, you will see the option, for example, the service tax and consumption cost. So who is in charge of? Once you complete it, just click on the option next and complete all the information as you do know how to do it. When we click on next, we'll see, for example, if you need to add a document as the other section, just make sure to enter as you wish. When you finish, just click on the option preview. So you will see the lease preview. Just take a look, and if everything is at your taste, you'll be able, for example, to send it to your tenant. You will see this window. So if you need to add a message, for example, to your tenant, you will be able to enter it just there. And when you finish, just click on send. When you click send, the seller will send an email to all the persons, and they will receive the link to be able to sign the lease. If you are the manager or you are the administrator of the software, you don't need to receive the email to be able to sign it. Just go back on the section communication, then signatures, then you will see the list that has been sent. If you want to sign it, for example, here the landlord is Mr. Jacques Dupuis. Just click on sign on the right side. Then you will see this window. Just click on in the bottom on accept. Then just scroll down and you will see section in yellow. Just click once and then make your signature. If you do it in your tablet or even your cell phone, you'll be able to do it with your finger. Otherwise, just can do it with your mouse and your computer. Once it's done, just click in all the section in yellow to apply to your signature. And just make sure to scroll down because you have a second copy. When everything is signed, just click on OK and click on Finish. When it's done, just close the windows, go back in the software and click on Synchronize. As you see now, you see the landlord Jacques Dupuis has signed the lease. Julie, when she will receive the email, this is exactly the same thing. She will click directly on the link and then she will see exactly the same thing as I show you. Just click on Accept. Same thing, she will click on the section in yellow, apply the signature, then click on OK. Same thing, click on OK on each section in yellow. Just scroll down to sign this second part. Once it's done, just click on OK. Then click on Finish. Close the window, just synchronize again, and then you'll see all the person in the list has signed the document. If we go back in the list, now you'll see nothing because everything has been signed. But if you want to take a look, just click on the status on the top part, just click on Sign. Then you will see the status of the person, the date that has been signed. When all the persons sign the lease, the tenant will receive automatically in his email a new document who is the lease with all the signatures, so you don't need to send it to the tenant. So this complete this section of the lease. Now when we have created the lease and everything is okay, we can begin to do the accounting part. We need to go on the left menu on accounting, then collection, and here if you see I have all the amount that has not been paid. For example, here, if I would just change my date to put, for example, in July 2020, just here. And for example, if I sign with Julie this the lease that began in July 2020, when I receive the amount, just enter the date of the payment. Just enter the date of the payment, enter the payment method, and enter the amount that you received. When the balance is at zero, that means everything is paid. If, for example, if we go on in August and the tenant did not pay, for example, the full amount, for example, here she only paid $600, we just do the same thing as we received. So we select the good date. We receive, for example, the amount, the 4. I check, and she sent us $600. So now we have a balance of 400. If she make a payment later, for example, when it shows another date, so Julie sent us a new check, August 21st, will be enter the amount that she has sent us. Now you'll see my balance is at 0. If we go, for example, in September, she was not able to send us a payment, just leave it like this. When we are in the month of October, now we will see the new balance. So we'll see $2,000 balance for October. If you receive the full amount, just enter the date of the payment. Still with a check, and she send us $2,000. You will see this message. Just click on the option Do Not Distribute, and we click on the option Balance at Zero to show what has been entered. You will see now you have a balance at 0. Everything has been paid. So this is very easy on the collection. Just enter the real date of the payment method, and the real amount that you have received. If you need to enter some comments that you need to enter in the software, just add your comment. If you need to have a report to have the balance due from your tenants, you can click on the option Report. Then you will see the report receivable collection, and you will see all the amount due for all your tenants. If I want to see a specific tenant, here on the left corner, I will be able to choose, for example, the unit that I want to have the information, or if I put myself, for example, directly in the company, so I will see all the tenants of the company. One step that is really important to do is the option Deposit. Deposit will tell us that the amount that has been collected has been deposited at the bank. For those who, for example, are know a little bit of bookkeeping, this will do the debit in the bank account. So just make sure that you do it. You will see this is very easy. Just go on accounting, then deposit, then you will click on add. If you have several bank accounts, just make sure that you select the bank account where you want to deposit the amount. By default, the software will show you the oldest month that need to be collected. In my case, is July 2020. And then I will select all the collection for all my tenants. So even if I only have, for example, 5 or even 1,000, I will be able to select by clicking just here in this box, and that will select all the collection for all the tenants. When it's done, just click on Finish. I will click on Add to add, for example, another one. Select the same thing. So here I make sure that I have make all the deposit. Here I have a message that tell me that the entry that I have done will have an impact on my financial period, so that's okay. This is what I want. If we continue on the section Accounting, you will see the option Expense. So if you have an expense, this is very easy to enter it. Just click on Add, then choose your supplier. But if you don't have, for example, the supplier that you want, you can click directly here on the little plus Add a supplier. Then you'll be able to enter the name of your supplier. This is the only required information. If you want to add some other information, you will be able to enter just here. When it's done, just click on Finish. So here I will have my supplier, in this case, Canadian Tire. So I will choose, for example, here in the left menu, I have the section Assignation. I just need to make sure to associate the expense to the good assignation. For example, I have bought some keyboard, mouse, computers, screen for my employees, so I will link it to the company. It's not directly related, for example, for a building or a specific apartment. If it's, for example, for the building, we have changed all the windows, we have made some work directly on the building, so we'll choose the option building. And if you have several buildings, just will be able to click on the scroll down menu and you will be able to choose the building that you want to link. If you, for example, do a specific work in a specific unit, for example, you have done some paint, just select the good apartment. Here I have my account maintenance and repair. This is the one I want. I will enter, for example, paint and enter the price. If it's taxable, just click on taxable and make sure that you enter the good date. For example, in my case, I want to enter it at July 1st, 2020. If we click on next, you will be able to enter some notes regarding the expense. If you want to upload the expense, for example, in PDF, you'll be able to select a file, then it will be linked to the expense just here. When it's done, just click on finish. Now you will see in the bottom part the option disbursement. Disbursement is to make the payment of this invoice. So for example, if I go directly on Canadian Tire and I have the invoice and the payment at the same day, so I can do, for example, the payment just right here. The way to do it, just enter the date of the payment, then enter the amount, the payment method, and the bank account. If you have any comment that you want to enter, you will be able to enter just here in comment. If you have entered a couple of expense, one after the other, you will have a section that has been able to make all the payment of each expense. The way to do it, for example, here, I will delete my payment just here. I will go back in disbursement, and here I will see all the invoice that has not been paid. Here I have a previous that is for Kanak, $1,000 has not been paid, and here I have the new one that I have created just yet. So here I will be able, for example, to enter the payment of a couple of expenses. So the way to do it is the same. So you enter the good date, enter the payment method, and the amount. Same thing for the other one. If the other one has been paid to the good date, you can enter with the little calendar or just enter it with your keyboard. So now I have all my expenses that has been paid. The balance is at 0. If I want to have a report to show me only, for example, the invoice that has not been paid, I can click on report and I will have the information on a report. If we continue, we take a look, for example, in the option chart of accounts. This is very easy. You will see all the account that is available in the software. If you want, for example, to change, for example, the description of an account, you can click, for example, here, just make on edit, and you'll be able, for example, to change the description just here. If you want to add a new account, just click on add. You'll be able to enter the account that you want. When you begin with the software, and the software have already a chart of accounts, normally in the more traditional software, to do the bookkeeping, you don't have a chart of account. You need to create by yourself. But here you have a couple of accounts, and just begin to enter, for example, for 1 or 2 months, and see if you do not use some accounts. You will be able to delete it just by clicking, for example, on the account. Just click on delete, and you'll be able to delete it. For my case, I will just answer not just is a way to show you how you can delete it. So once you have entered your deposit, you have entered your expenses, the last option normally, for example, is to enter our general entries. So to do it, we need to go on Finance General Journal, then we'll click on Add. So here, for example, if I have an interest, for example, that I need to enter, so I will be able to enter it here. Or this is the good place to make, for example, to a money transfer from an account to another one. In this case, I will do, for example, one example like this. So I will choose my assignation as company. Then I will select my account 1060, my checking account. This is the principal one. So I will enter, for example, $15,000. So it's coming from the saving account that we have. So I will enter the same amount. And then I will enter the identification of the transaction. So I'll enter as money transfer. Just make sure to select the good date too of the entry. When it's done, just click on finish. Just to know, our team do not give general journal entries. If you need a specific entry, the good person to ask is your accountant. He will be able to give you the entry that you want. Our team will be able to guide you after this to be able to enter it if you don't know how to do it. So there is my entry that I have just already entered. When you have done, for example, your collection, your deposit, expenses, disbursements, and all your general journal entries, the last step is to do the reconciliation. To do it is very simple. Just go on finance, then reconciliation, and you click on add. Then, for example, we'll choose the date that we want to do our reconciliation. For example, here I will choose July 2020, and just make sure the end date is the same. Here is a brand new account. So my deferred balance is at 0. So I will take my bank statement and I will be able to take a look and see if all the transactions are there. If not, I can just go back on the good section to enter the entry that I need to do. When everything is complete, take your banking account and take a look on the software, and each time you will see the same transaction, just click once. When everything is matching with the software and your bank statement, now you can see the bottom part in the software. So I have the good amount of the deposit, same with the withdrawals, and I will enter the ending balance that I see in my bank statement. When it's done, I see the unresolved at 0. That means everything is okay. I have entered all my transactions. When I'm done, just click on finish. If you want the report of reconciliation, just click on report. Then you will have your report just here. If you need to send it, for example, to your accountant or a different type of person, you can click on the option send. You will be able to send it by email. Just to know, all the reports in the software, you will be able, for example, to export in different type of format. Just click here on the little wheel, then you will have the option export format. So you will be able to export it in PDF, Word, or even in Excel. So this for all the report that you have in the software. So this one is the last step for the accounting. So if we go take a look, for example, in the option communication, we will see different type of communication that you can do. For example, here I have the option message text. So you can send, for example, a message text to a person that you want. That can be, for example, a landlord, that can be the administrator, that can be a tenant, the person that you want. You will see this is very easy to use it. Just make sure you are in communication, then text message and click on add. If you have the phone number that you want, you can enter it just like this. Or if you have already the person enter as a contact in the software, just click here and choose the person that you want to send the text message. When you have selected, just click on OK. The person will show in the top part and then enter the message text. If you want to include a reply mobile phone number, just enter it just here. If you don't, just unselect the box just here and click on send. This way, if we go back on the list of the message text, you will see the message text that has been sent just right now. If you need to send an email, this is very easy too. Just click on communication email and click on add. Same thing if you want to select a person, click here, select the person that you want to send, and then click on OK. Enter the subject, enter your message, and then if you want to link If you want to select a file that you want to share with the other person, just click on select a file, just choose it in your computer and you'll be able to upload it. When it's done, just click on send. So to send an email is very easy, and all the email that you will send will be registered here in the software. When we enter, for example, the buildings, the company, we see the option Note and Task. As mentioned, here are the section Note and Task. Note and Task is very interesting. For example, if you have a lot of post-it, for example, in your desk, why not to enter it directly in the software as a note? So if you have a note, for example, or even you have a couple of tasks to do, you can enter it directly in the software. So just make sure you are in communication, Note and Task, and then click on Add. Select, for example, the assignation that you want. For example, here I want to leave a note for a specific person. So here, for example, from the person Henry Cordonero. So here I will enter, for example, a note. For example, here, really good tenant. Let's click on Finish. And here, if I click on the name of the person, I will see the file contact of this person, and send it here. I will see really good tenant. So everything that you need to enter in the software as a note or a task, that will be shown just like here. Even if you want to go directly on a contact, for example, you want to add a note specifically with Mrs. Bienvenue, I can click just directly on her name, click on Edit. I can click on her name. Then, for example, just go scroll a little bit down, and I will be able to, for example, add a new note. Once I finish, just click on Finish. And now this is a couple of different ways that you can do, for example, enter a note or even a task. The difference with the note and the task is this one. A note is just a note, but a task, you will have, for example, here I have an example. So I will have a checkbox. So when I have a couple of tasks, here, for example, I have two. So for example, here I have a training for a customer at 10 a.m. Just when I finish this, I can click directly on the checkbox and click on save. So now it will disappear. So if, for example, I haven't made a mistake, I just click on task completed, and I will be able to uncheck, for example, this box. For create the task is as simple as I have create, for example, my note. Just click on add. Here on type, just select the option task, select the person, and then enter, for example, the description of your task. When it's done, just click on finish. It will go back on the list of the tasks. So now I have the task that I have enter, test 1, 2, 3. Very simple. If you want to have a report for this, just click on report, so you will have this in a report format. One important step to do, for example, is the rent increase. To do it is very simple. Just go on management, then click on rent increase, and just make sure that you have selected on this here on the corner, select period. You will select, for example, the first option. The last one, just make sure to don't click. When it's done, now you will see, for example, all the lists that need to be renewed. For example, here, the period for the renewal is July 2021. So this is the new period that need to be renewed. Now here, for example, if I want to increase for a specific percentage, for example, here I want to add 2%, just make sure that you have checked the box rent and all the units that you want with this percentage. Then you will be able to click on increase, and now you will see the price increase, and then you have the gap. If you want to have the letter to send to the tenant, just click on the letter just here, and then you have a couple of options here for your increased notice. For example, here you have the tenant response. So this is all the choice that you give to your tenants. You have accept and renew, do not renew and leave, and you have refuse and renew. If you don't like the last one, just uncheck the box just here. Then in the letter, the person will not have this option. If you want to edit the letter, just click on edit. You will be able to edit the content of the letter. Once everything is at your taste, just click on send and send again, and then that will be send this increased notice for electronic signature. If we take a look on communication, then signatures, then you will see the increased notice that has been sent. This work exactly as the list that I showed you before. When you receive the response of your tenant, just go back on management or rent increase. And then you have two type of response. You have, for example, if you want to renew. If you want to renew, just click on the double arrow just here. And if the person want to leave, just click on the option in the middle, resiliate, that will put an end date directly in her lease. She want to renew, so in this case, I would just click on the double arrow just here, and then he will disappear. So when he disappears, that means that I have done my job. If now we take a look directly on the lease of the person, we just go back on data, then lease, and now you will see I have a first period of $1,000 who began on July 2020, and I have a new period at 1,020 that's began where the other one finished. The impact of this is when I go on accounting, and for example, I choose July 2021, you'll see automatically the amount has been changed just here. So that means you have done correctly your job. One other thing that is really important to do is your ERL 31. So to do it, just go on the option report on the left menu, and you will have the option ERL 31 just here. You will see this is very easy. So just click on add, and then if you don't already have an NP number, a proprietary number, you have a form that you need to complete. The link will be in the description. Just complete it, and then once complete, you will receive your proprietary number and the statement number that you will be entered to directly in the software. When it's done, just make sure that you have selected the Goodyear and type original. Then just select all your units, then click on finish. When it's done, you will see the tenant statement and then the proprietor statement. This is very important to take a look on the tenant statement and see if everything is okay. I click on directly on the proprietor statement, so that will download this one. I don't need to open it. Something that is really important to know is the proprietor statement must be sent and approved by Revenu Québec. The tenant statement must be printed and sent to each tenant or subtenant. It is very important to note that the proprietor statement must be approved by Revenu Québec before printing and sending the tenant statement. So this is very important. Once you have clicked on the proprietor statement that's already been downloaded directly on your computer, on your downloads, just click in the word Revenu Québec. Click on start. Here, where it says transmitter number, just enter your NP number that they gave you, and then click on next. Then just enter the information that Revenu Québec needs. When you have sent, you will receive a confirmation by email that your ERL 1 are okay. So now after this, you will be able to send it to your tenant. This completed the training for today. So if you have any question, you can send your question at our email address at support@magixtechnologies.com, support@magixtechnology.com. So feel free, if you have any question, our team is there to help you.